Let's all be on our feet as we...
And that's my girl, my son. This is Sophie, my grandson, and always we are. And this is my family, and this is my grandson. This is me. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, it takes a lot to get you here. We're glad we have you here. And yes, we hope that in your commitment and of course, so in case you did not get an opportunity to view, to read the stories, this is the opportunity. Please feel free to invite others to also come and see the impact that this partnership has brought together. Otherwise, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the event.
About vision. When PEPFAR was started 20 years ago, the American government and the leadership came up with a program that...
Alvin, ready to present to you a poem entitled "To." With a warrior spirit and united in strength, bearing hope that never...
And say all is well, and so don't take any preventive measures. Our health workers do teach people, especially our community health work.
Today we celebrate 20 years of PEPFAR's impact in Kenya and of course to an extent also globally. Today we celebrate 20 years of hope. The stories that you've seen just now in the gallery walk is just 20 out of the millions of lives that have already been saved by PEPFAR. So I am very excited to be the one to do these welcoming remarks because I just don't represent myself, but I represent a community of young people, a community of people living with HIV, and as you have heard, I am coming from the National Network of People Living with HIV here in Kenya. But I'd just like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate the partnership and the relationship that we've had with PEPFAR as a partnership, as a nation, with the government, and of course with the contribution that the communities have made. We've all made very amazing contribution, and Kenya gets closer and closer to achieving the 95, 95, 95 targets. And of course, our president, we are being lauded, and as advocates out there, we are constantly being reminded that Kenya made a very bold commitment that we will be ending AIDS by 2027, unlike the other targets overally, which is by 2030. So Your Excellency and everybody who is present, I would like to take this opportunity first to thank you for being here, for gracing us with your presence. It takes a lot to get you here. We're glad we have you here. And yes, we hope that in your commitment, and of course, we are a few days from the World AIDS Day, which is on the 1st of December. And the theme for this year's World AIDS Day is Let Communities Lead. And we thank you for your commitment so far, and we hope that in your agenda of ending AIDS by 2027, that the communities will still remain at the helm and remain at the forefront of this.
I am yet to see a global partnership model that has worked like this one. PEPFAR, Global Fund, the Ministry of Health, and most importantly, Your Excellency, the communities. We have been together, and this model is impactful. As a country, we have over 1.4 million people living with HIV/AIDS. But the success of this, Your Excellency, and the good story is that over 95% are on treatment. And those are not just figures, Your Excellency. You have just met Edna, a success story of what PEPFAR has done. And what she forgot to mention to you, Your Excellency, that when she began her journey, the number of drugs that she had to take, the ones that were at 30,000, it was a whole load of about 10 tablets. But through PEPFAR, that has come down. It came to a single tablet, and now to an injection that is being given after 3 months. We actually lost many people because of the load of drugs that they had to take. So, Your Excellency, I am so happy that PEPFAR is doing this with us. And it also takes me back a personal story, Your Excellency. When I was joining college, I only got 2 advices from my parents. One from my mother, who told me, do not come back pregnant. And the second advice from my father, who was a policeman, and he said, I do not want you to come back in a plastic black paper bag. Because those days, Your Excellency, people with HIV/AIDS, people with AIDS that had died were being transported back home for burial in plastic bags. It was horrifying. It was terrible. Your Excellency, the beauty of that story is that when I was sending my own daughter to college, I could not tell her that. Because PEPFAR has been with us, people are on treatment, and you can no longer say that don't come back in a paper bag. In fact, it takes effort for you to describe what AIDS looks like. So at a personal level, I want to thank you, PEPFAR. That PEPFAR has actually taught us that you can break political barriers, break economic barriers, break technical barriers, and break structural barriers to impact on lives of people. Your Excellency, through your guidance on this journey, many countries committed to ending AIDS, especially in children, by 2030, but you gave me a warning and you said it must be done, that as a country, we are working towards ending it in 2027. My team here knows, when you direct, I equally exert the pressure downwards. And they are aware that we are working towards ensuring that by 2027, we ensure that we end AIDS in children.
Together, Kenya and the United States have altered the course of the HIV/AIDS epidemic in Kenya. The partnership has saved millions of lives, strengthened health systems and economic prosperity, and perhaps most importantly, created hope. With over 1 million Kenyans on daily life-saving HIV treatment, and 94% of them have successfully suppressed the virus, I can confidently say Kenya is on the cusp of epidemic control. However, our mission is not finished. I hope all our partners continue working together to do what was previously seemed impossible, eradicating HIV/AIDS as a public health threat in Kenya by 2027. I like to say that success happens when good people with good intentions cooperate and work together over a shared area of interest. Teamwork matters. Kenya needs your know-how and your drive. Kenya needs the private and public sectors to continue to cooperate. Kenya needs a sustainable plan. The United States has already done the impossible, landing a man on the moon and bringing him home safely. Let's do it again, this time a little closer to home. To celebrate the larger story of PEPFAR's impact in Kenya, the U.S. Embassy is highlighting 20 extraordinary Kenyans whose lives have been forever changed. Today we honor those heroes of hope and the millions more that they represent. Stories of Kenyans like Edna living a productive life with an undetectable viral load, running her own business, mentoring young people, courageously counseling neighbors to continue their vital antiretroviral treatment, and raising and educating 3 strong daughters to lead healthy lives. Stories of Kenyans like Dan, who has remained HIV negative with the help of pre-exposure prophylaxis, who has been a faithful companion and a friend to his HIV positive girlfriend, and who has become an activist for PrEP, promoting sound decision-making among youth in his community. Stories of Kenyans like Joyce, who has bravely overcome gender-based violence and is socially, educational, and economically empowered to be more resilient as she leads her community and champions the rights of the vulnerable. And stories of Kenyans like Angel, who you just met, who inspires us with courage and fierce determination beyond her years and circumstances, giving hope for an AIDS-free generation of Kenyans, and reminding all of us that we can do anything we set our minds to.